welcome to Ada, Oklahoma.
Welcome to Ada, Oklahoma. That's right. You know what to do.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bear Grease Render. This is unusual render. We're in the field. And where are we at, Justin?
Ada, Oklahoma at the Oklahoma Mule Sale.
The Ada Mule Sale.
Yes, sir.
So I've got, to my left right here, I've got Justin Kelso, whose family has been involved in this mule sale since the beginning.
Yeah, since 93.
It's y'all's sale.
Yes, sir.
And then to your left is Max Bishop, who I just met today, but I've known about you for years from Arkansas.
Yeah.
We're still trying to decide if it's infamous or famous. We're not for sure.
It's
Probably both.
It's definitely infamous.
Yeah. Well, Justin, tell us what we're watching. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna see us talking, but you're also gonna see an arena with some mules out there. Tell us what this is, Justin.
What this is, we started a catalog or a consignment portion of this sale so you can have a preview of the mules at home. That's at least those are coming here, plus whatever else is checked in as an open consignment after these. And when we done that, we decided these mules, if you're going to come here expecting to get more money instead of bragging on how broke they are, let's show how broke they are. So a very simple trail course, got a few obstacles, nothing too scary, nothing too serious. Every year we add or take away something. It's just to show how broke your mule is. I mean, this isn't everything you'll encounter. I mean, we've got pool noodles here. I've been riding a lot in the back country and trail riding. I've never encountered a pool noodle away from the house.
So what they've got is a little rack with pool noodles hanging down from it on strings, and you ride your mule through the pool noodles. And if you've ever been around equine animals, you know that they're prone to be scared of just about anything.
And while this is a judged course, we give a prize to the winners and that kind of thing. It's not so much to win the trail course; it's to sell your mule.
And so today's Thursday.
Take a look at this one here. That's Coltrane's. Now he's going to have a really quality mule. That's
Hey, will
Coltrane.
you pull your mic up a little bit, Max?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so that's Coltrane Mule Company. Now, see, like, it's a little thing, but so when you go down there and you get mounted on, well, he stood on that block, snapped his fingers, that mule side passed over and picked him up. So what that tells us is, though, not only is this mule gentle, but like he's actually taken time to actually train this mule. He's invested some time. He raised it. It's out of his own stock. So this is going to be one of the quality
So you know
ones.
this trainer.
He's been
this is
coming
Coltrane
here.
mules. He's well known, and so he's showing what he's spent like probably a year on this mule doing to bring to this sale to get the maximum amount of money.
Yep.
And so that's this course
so today's Thursday. Saturday's the sale.
That's
so
correct.
Saturday there's a live auction.
Yep.
And we've already talked about that some on the past Bear Grease podcast, but this guy right here, where's he from?
He's
Max?
from northern Missouri. I forget exactly what. He's up around Columbia, I think, in that area. Kevin Coltrane, his wife is Brandy. They've been coming here for a while, and they go to all the other sales too. And they'll have 2 or 3 in every sale. Like Max said, 90% of them they raised. They've known these mules all their life.
They like I sell off my farm. They generally don't. Like, matter of fact, I just had some people come buy some mules from me that tried to buy these mules from him last week, and he wouldn't sell them. He said, they're already in sale. They're consigned. We can't sell them. And he actually told them to come down there and see what I had. So he don't want to deal with the public, and so he can consign them to the Kelso sale, and the Kelsos are going to market them nationally. They're going to have an internet, so people are going to be here, but it's also on the internet. And so this guy can get the maximum amount of money for his mule without having to deal with the public. Yeah. There's a huge advantage of that.
Yeah.
And
now, Max, tell everybody what you do. Like, what's your job?
Oh, I deal with the public.
Well, no, but I mean, you're a mule. You're a mule man. You sell mules for a living and have for a long time.
Well, the easy ones, or if I buy this mule, then all I have to do is be able to outmarket Coltrane. He's already done all the work.
You're going to buy it at his top dollar, but then
I'm going to outmarket him. Because he don't want to deal with the public, and I will.
No, that Max most likely has customers he sold one of his mules to before.
Yes, I have.
Pick up the phone. Hey, I got another Coltrane mule for you.
Exactly.
The mule's sold. I mean, over a phone call, it probably gets it done right away.
Right.
If the mule fits what the guys or woman's looking for.
So I have mules that's never been rode before, and we'll have to do the full process. But you're talking about months of time of training, and then I've got mules that I'll get that. Maybe they've let it get buddy sour, or maybe it has some kind of problem. We'll have to fix a specific problem, and then we can sell it. Sometimes we buy the mules from the Amish, and again, they've done a lot of the work. They just don't have Facebook. so we can outmarket them. So I do everything from marketing them to just the full on training them to fixing problems. But in this case, at this sale, while I'm here at like Jody and Justin's and Johnny's sale, is that there will be quality mules like Coltrane's that he won't sell you off the farm, and I can come here and buy them, and then I can market them and put the work in.
In the same instance, on the flip side of what Kevin doesn't want to deal with the public, you have people wanting to buy a mule that don't want to come to the auction.
Yeah.
They want to deal with Max or Justin or Jody or Johnny, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
They don't want the fast thinking auction style. So Max they're going to pay Max a premium. They know they're paying him a premium.
Okay. And they can come to my house.
Them.
They can ride it 2 or 3 days, whatever they want to do. I got really good trails in my house. There's 21,000 acres right across the road from me. And they, instead of saying they got 2 minutes to bid,
right,
they can come down there and they can ride it, make sure this mule likes them, it fits them.
Yeah.
And they can do
What do you call yourself if somebody says, what do you do for a living?
It's Max Bishop Mule Company.
Well, but I mean, like,
What's
more
your
like
title?
an elevator pitch. I mean, would you say you're a mule trader? Would you say you're a mule salesman? Would you say?
Well,
because there's other people like you in the country that buy and sell mules.
Well, my deal was I used to train mules and horses for the public. That's all I did. So I was a trainer. But then you got to deal with these people don't ride. They're not putting their time in. They're not invested in themselves. And so you'll get their mule trained or their horse trained, and then they still suck at riding. And so then they're blaming you. And then they want a video every day, and you're on their time schedule, and like, how's my mule doing? And they want it all done in 30 days. Well, when I finally got enough money and stuff set up where I can pick out the quality mules that I want. I know what it's a good mule. I can pick out the ones that I want to train, I want to work with on my time and my schedule, and then sell it. And so like I was charging them $1,000 a month to train a mule. Well, I can buy a mule here for $6,000 or $7,000 and ride it 2 weeks and make $8,000 and not get buck thrown or kicked because it was already a nice mule. So
you just said something. I never did ride it a lot for the public, but some, you need a little extra cash. So have a little extra time. Somebody got a colt one broke out or something. Yeah, I'll ride it. I quit doing it now, and I wouldn't tell anybody I wouldn't do it. I just kept raising my price till they stopped paying me. But the problem was, like what Matt's saying, you ride something 30 days for them, get it doing everything. And it may take me 45 days to get that 30 days of riding in. But what I would do is I would say it may take me 45 days to get your 30 days of riding in, but it's going to do this, and this when I'm done. It's going to cost you this much money. Well, they get it home, they turn it out for 3 months.
Don't ride it.
Don't ride it. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Feed it.
Yeah.
And then call me. Hey, this thing bucked me off. Well, what have you done? Oh, that's the first time I rode it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it just gets so disgusted with it that, I mean, there was the last horse I rode for the public wasn't even broke the lead, still running with his mother's 2 years old. 2-year-old past, like 2.5 years old. Not been broke the lead or anything. I get this thing right, it never done a thing with me. My wife calls me because come to find out it was her cousin's husband's family that owned the horse. And all her uncles and brother, it bucked everybody off. She said, you going to ride it? I said, no. It never bucked with me. Why would I go try to prove myself on something I've already done? And they waited a year to ride it. That's not my fault. That's their fault. So I wouldn't have got on him one time for 600 at that point.
Max, I saw you writing something down. Did you see something you liked out there?
Well, the one that the Wild Bunch had, you could tell was doing pretty good. He was one. He one hand reined it through the whole deal. So the course, so like when he went through everything like that, he didn't have to use 2 hands. So it's obviously got a handle on it.
Yeah. Well, we got interrupted by technical issues, but that was Mark Bailey, the Wild Bunch Horse and Mule Company, and they helped us Kelsos put the sale on.
Oh, okay.
And but he's a hand. I mean, it's just there's no other way to say it. Very good roper. He's just a cowboy. And when I say cowboy, I'm not talking about this rough, rowdy. He knows what he's doing. He knows he's a trainer. He's a roper. He's the whole package. And like Max saying, anything he's had very long, if he's had it very long and worked it very long, it's kind of like me he was talking about earlier. Don't waste your time on sorry ones. If that thing's not responding and not going to respond to stuff, why waste your time? Go get you something better. Mm-hmm. And so if he spends very much time on one, it's all right.
And then vice versa with this one. So you got this one here, it's got no bit in its mouth. So, it's got a Hackamore gadget type thing. So, it's probably slinging its head. And then, like he couldn't do this obstacle here. He can't do that obstacle there. He went around that obstacle there. So, you've got a mule that's basic.
Basic.
It didn't buck him. It didn't hurt him. But
and there's a place for this mule,
Yeah.
but it's just not going to be.
It's not going to bring the high dollar.
No, and it's not going to be as
So
proper as
what would you say for somebody that was wanting to get their first animal? I mean, I talk to a lot of people that are like, I've been around equine animals some, but never owned one, and they want a mule.
The first thing, safe
disposition.
And if you've never owned one, don't come to the auction to buy one. I mean, seriously, go spend the money to go to somebody's house, and somebody like Max or us. I mean, we got them. They're at our house, KelsoMules.com. Come to our house. Go find you somebody you trust. Go to their house. Spend a week there if you need to. If you're a good person and you're willing to work, most sellers will work with you on something like that. Hey, I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm doing. Can I come out and try this mule for so long? And ride with the person that owns it, that knows the buttons, knows the issues, knows the vices. Because you're, like we talked about in the other podcast, you're dealing with something that God gives its own mind to. It's got its own fears. It has its own life.
This is not a four-wheeler.
That's right. So go spend some time. And if you know what you're doing, maybe you don't need that. But when you're buying an animal and you don't know what you're doing, get some help. Don't be too proud to ask for help.
Now, what are you seeing in this mule, Max? Pretty basic.
You got the same thing here. You got a hackamore. So, he's not broke
and that's
to
a
the bit.
style of bit that
Yes, there's nothing in his mouth. And
there's nothing in his mouth.
No, it's just on his nose, clamping down. But you see, as soon as he picks the reins up, this thing immediately goes looking up in the air. See, so every time, so you've got no control over it to a degree.
Yeah. Now I want to add to what you're saying there just a little bit, Max. There was a guy, he's dead now, from southwest New Mexico or southeast, southwest. He's in the Gila. His name just evaded me. Max Harsha.
Yeah.
And he had a combination bit with a noseband. Myself, I don't like them. That's just me. It's kind of a, some people, it is kind of a gimmick. Don't get me wrong, when a mule responds to that Max Harsha bit well, it responds real well. But it's not a be-all, end-all. Bits are so different than any other piece of equipment you're going to use. But there are certain people get hung up on something that worked.
And
they
keep using it.
You just got to keep using it. Once again, we're dealing with an individual. You're not dealing with a four-wheeler that's mass-produced and everything's just alike. Maybe this mule will ride with a bit. Maybe not. We don't know. I mean, that's the first time I've seen the mule, so I don't know. But also the flips, and I'm not arguing with Max on what he's saying, but the flip side, this guy, maybe he rides everything with a hackamore.
Right.
Good. So you don't.
So you're trying to. We have to try to decide: is it the mule or is it the rider?
Right.
Yeah.
And we got to watch the response. And
that's a big old pretty mule.
Yeah.
But
and the mule trotted down in a real straight line, so you can tell it's probably good and sound and all that. And it's trotted what it's going to do, and it started acting up with it.
I noticed. Well, when he come right here, he kind of cut kind of quick right here when he turned, and not a. I wouldn't call the mule flighty or unsafe, nothing like that. I don't know. I mean, what I seen looked safe, but I could tell that you had to. That was a mule that if that had been a greenhorn riding this mule right here, when he comes to this obstacle, this L right here, that he had to back through, if that had been a greenhorn, that mule would have made some more steps. So it looked to me, that guy knew the mule was going to spook just a little bit. Now, this is Todd DeJohn from Iowa. Really good hand. I've known Todd for 30 years. He'll have some pretty nice mules.
Now, what's he done? Has he shaved that mule's head?
All right, that's this goes back
so
to...
we're looking at a mule that there's a distinct line. Looks like it's
his head's been clipped. They're not sheep shears, but they're different blades, but same styles as sheep shears.
Is that just a stylistic thing for showing?
That started on draft mule coats. They would shear their head because a mule, as a donkey or jack, has real heavy boned eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
And so you take a coat that maybe just a little bit, we call it being rough over the eyes, a little full over the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you take a coat that's got hair on it, baby hair on it, 4 inches long, and it's sticking out. Well, that hair, like a hood up there almost. I mean, it really makes them not, that just shows how clean that mule's head is.
I see. So he's just kind of showing it off.
And it's went from there. I hate having a ride mule's head shear. I hate it. However, some mules, I'll stop there. If you're going to do that body clip thing, which I'm totally against, but in my opinion, but it does. I mean, that makes her, if you got it, she's tight haired enough, she didn't need it. But some people just grew up seeing it done and wanted it done.
Yeah. Now, so y'all you're looking at a lot of different stuff, Max. You're looking at the tack. You're trying to discern if this rider is able.
You see how well, that's the thing. See, now in this case here, see how it's gaping his mouth open and pulling back. But we know for a fact that is a good rider. See, like on the other one, we were like, well, we don't know if it's this mule or is it this guy, because we don't know the guy. We know that if that mule won't back up with his head down, collected, it ain't his fault. We know
because you know
right.
this
we
guy.
know him. That's what me and we was talking about earlier in another podcast about
he can't get it to go through the pool noodles.
Right. But he done what he should do. This is not training time. Go around it.
Now, why is he selling this mule? This is a good mule trainer.
He sells.
If I had to guess, let's see here. If I had to guess, it's probably one that he's riding for somebody else to a degree.
Say it's his and charities.
So Max is looking in the catalog.
He works construction, but he'll ride a few mules in the evening and go to some sales.
So you might buy that mule, Max, and take it home and ride it for 60 days and really tune it up, and it's a sharp-looking mule, and it needs a little more. Am I right?
Yeah, but once again, maybe the same situation. Even though Todd's a good hand, maybe Max has got a bit that fits that mule better. He may, and me personally, I think every ride mule should be born with a cavassaw.
Yes.
A cavassaw is a noseband with a headstall on it, just a simple, and it keeps them from gapping their mouth open. And what they're doing when they gap that mouth open, they're trying to get away from the bit. Now, if you got one on, you need to be smart enough not to have too much bit in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're fighting against one another.
Yeah.
But every mule should be born with a cavassaw.
Now this is that's a flashy mule. What's a flashy mule, Max? When people say that,
it's got chrome on it like that.
Color
or really good disposition. But the stock and legs, that mule's got some eye catching.
Is that going to be a good selling mule because of the way it looks? Y'all don't like it.
I don't.
It has the color. It doesn't have the conformation.
Oh, does it not?
No.
I'm sitting here with two guys that like flashy mules. I don't. I'm a sorrel and bay guy. And what Max means here, this mule, she's well made. She's not thick made though. Mm-hmm. She's got a well-rounded hip.
Now, what consequences one not being thick and not having a lot of muscle? I mean, is that mule not going to be? But I'm saying, like on a trail ride, you're not going to know the difference between that one and one that weighs 200 more pounds, are you?
Depends on what you know.
Yeah,
it's what you're used to. Take your four-wheelers. If you know this four-wheeler will do more, but you always grew up on this smaller four-wheeler that you always able to get done what you wanted done, that bigger four-wheeler may be intimidating to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a guy that knows the difference of what job application goes, or pickup. All right, you grew up driving a half-ton truck all your life. You only have a bumpy pull trailer or a boat, whatever the case may be. This does what I want to do.
Yeah.
Take somebody at Max, he's got a gooseneck trailer. He's got to go up down the road with 8 to 10 mules in it. That half-ton truck is no good to him. But if you're used to a mule that's got a little more body, a little more size to it, and maybe.
Now, do you think that's a young mule?
No.
10 years old.
10 years old.
So that mule's full grown.
It's done. Yeah, it's been.
Are you
done.
Going to buy that mule, Max?
I mean, I'd probably.
This is going to come out after the sale. So
I would bid on this mule because, like, when it's going, one, it is doing the obstacles. He is riding it one-handed for the majority of everything. It's got floppy ears, which means it's relaxed. It's confident in what it's doing. I do have a lot of people that just want a smaller mule. They're just trail riding. They're not going to rope. They're not going to go to the mountains. They're older couple, whatever. They're just wanting something small and thin. A lot of people have bad hips or whatever. They don't want to be spread out with something real wide. They like that narrow build, that A-frame. So there are clients, and like I said, you see when he's pulling his tail and doing around, like
so it's just too small for you.
It's for a personal mule.
Yeah.
But I sell more from 14 to 14.3 to older people than I do any other thing. I like a 16-hand mule looks like a head horse. They don't sell that well.
But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Our clientele's gotten older.
Max, do you mind pulling up that mic a little bit? I'm sorry.
Our clientele's gotten older, more crippled. I mean, I'm broke up at 50 years old. It's pitiful. I'm nearly 51. I got knees that are junk, a hip that's junk, a right arm that's junk.
It's because of riding all those bad mules.
Bad decisions a lot of times. But that small mule, that's what we was talking about earlier. This older woman that doesn't care, like Max is saying. She wants something that's safe, and she likes the looks of it. That little mule right there has got some retail to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This mule here, I mean, the mule's got its nose up a little bit, but it's responsive. That if I was buying this mule, it's stepping out of them. That wouldn't affect me. The mule's trying.
Yeah.
You know, it's not fighting him. He's not doing exactly what he asked, but the mule's still it's not an idiot. But once again, see that nose coming up like that?
Yeah.
That mule wants to get out of this. It hates this arena. Guarantee it. Also, though, might be going towards them noodles, too. I just thought of that because going away, the mule's relaxed. Remember what I was talking about earlier about mule seeing something 100 yards out? I guarantee what said mule picking its head up?
Yeah.
Going towards them noodles.
You think it's scared of those
I bet
noodles?
it won't go through them noodles. It might.
Max, how many mules did you buy here last year?
18.
18 mules.
In the fall.
In the fall, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And how long?
then about the same in the spring.
I was wrong.
How fast will you turn those over? Just
I'd
depends.
rather not say.
Oh, okay. I would take that out if you don't want me to.
There's an old saying, a fox don't tell the hounds all his hide knows.
There you go.
I was wrong. The mule went through the noodles.
It did. Pretty well.
Yeah, very well. I mean, didn't hesitate. But the noodles to me is the same thing as a blue tarp. Whether it's over them or under them, you spend enough time, they'll do it. The noodles to me, the noodles on a 3-year-old how it responds to it's one thing. A 10-year-old, it doesn't mean anything. It either means they're going to do it or they're not going to do it. That doesn't mean that mule's not safe or well broke, to my opinion. That may be the one thing it wouldn't do. Maybe it does everything else. We've discussed taking the noodles plumb out. I hate them noodles.
Hey, now, Justin, here's a mule you might like. This is a solid colored, dark bay or black, I can't tell. Got a...
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
pretty nice mule, isn't it?
Yeah, safe. I'm gonna say this mule. Yes, it's gonna be. It's a be an older mule, I'd say, knowing who owns it. Being an older mule, be a safe mule.
13 years old is what it says.
13. What's the prime age, Max?
To sell at 6 to 10. 10 to 12 would be better than 4 to 6. And in a horse world, 4 to 6 is your best.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. It is so different than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. If that mule got over, a mule or horse, either one got over 7 or 8 years old, if it's over 8, you didn't retail it.
People didn't want it.
No.
But, I mean, a mule's coming into his prime when he's 10. Is that about right?
A done horse mule, if he's got them tiger stripes on their legs, they shouldn't be born till they're 6 years old. They're kind of like a blue heater dog. Could be the best one you ever had. However, it takes them a little while to mature.
Yeah.
And they are tough.
I like this mule.
This mule's going to be, just what I've seen is going to be a very safe mule. It's going to be for that. This mule here is the one where the wife does all the riding, and she wants to buy her husband a mule just to go with her when he don't ride that much.
Uh-huh.
I used to have people who call me and say, listen, I've got a mule. My husband will ride with me, but his mule can't be as pretty as mine. And I would buy these big,
really? Somebody
gawky,
said
ugly.
That to you?
Oh, all the time. And I made lots of money off rich women that their husband went ride with them to please them, to be a part of their life. You know, I'm not knocking what they were doing.
Yeah.
But you could retail them people because they're like, my husband cannot have as nice a mule as I got.
I literally just did a video on that. It's like going viral right now about husband-safe mules.
Husband-safe mules.
Remember what I was talking about earlier, where the women are leading on these animals, dogs. I mean, the women are leading on the animals because, these men are, let's face it, the way the economy or whatever you want, the way the lifestyles has changed in the last 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
You have to work so much. Your hobbies, you don't have hobbies anymore.
That's interesting.
You chase your kids. You do all this.
Would you say you're marketing as much to women as men, or more to women?
No, more to women. The women are controlling the mule market.
Really?
Mostly.
Absolutely. Unless it's a roping mule or something like that.
You'll get some guys
wagon mules. Yeah, wagon mules are still men.
Because all
That's
honesty, the wagon team, you can sit there in that wagon, you put your cooler of whatever beverages you prefer. A lot of these wagons now, they got cookers on the back of them. This guy, and I'm not saying women don't work, that's not what I mean by this. But this guy's been stressed out for 5 days. He wants to spend his Saturday relaxing, so he can hook his team up. He's got his cooker on the back, got his cooler full of whatever beverage, adult or non-adult, you want in your cooler, and you sit back and hold a pair of lines and go driving around back roads all day.
With your mules.
With your mules, and just enjoy the day.
That's
and relax.
rolling, man. So if you're listening to this on audio, you probably would do better watching this on YouTube, because we're here at the catalog. These are the catalog mules, which means mules that have been pre-registered for the sale in 2 days. and we're watching them go through the trail course.
Now I'll tell you here now, this mule here, anybody can ride it based on just the rider. She can't ride a lick.
Now, is that your daughter?
It is.
No, that's not what I heard all day. This girl is she's as good as they come.
That is a lie.
Yeah.
If you see a Kelso kid on there,
they know what they're doing.
She's kind of like some of these mules. She could use some refining. She's pretty tough. And
we were at a mule sale here, and I don't want to ruin his story, but they paid her $20 or whatever to ride a mule through the sale. This mule kicked her and burst her appendix, or
lacerated the liver.
Lacerated the liver. She still rode that mule through that sale, got that mule sold, then went to the hospital. She's tough.
Wow. This girl, right? How old is she?
She's 22, be 23 this fall.
Yeah, she's tough.
Man, that's a nice looking mule.
That is
so
nice.
This is, what do you call that? That's a
done
strap?
tire strap legs.
Now, what makes that?
It's the donkey. The daddy put most of that on him.
So
now,
what typically, if you saw that, you know what kind of jack and what kind of mare that came out of?
No, but I know that's a tough son of a gun. That'd be the toughest mule you step on. You will not kill that mule riding.
What is that, about 15?
What number is this one here?
It's Jace Curtis's maybe.
So we're looking at a tall mule, and Justin's daughter is riding it. I'd say it's over 15 hands.
Oh yeah, he's 15-1 at least.
Yeah,
maybe 2. Yeah,
and it's a palomino colored, so it's like
a buckskin dun. He's got a buckskin dun. He's got a black manning tail.
It's like the color of coffee if you poured quite a bit of creamer in it.
Yes, and he's got the black legs up to his pasterns, but from pasterns to his knees, where a buckskin be black all the way up, he's got the stripes.
So is that your mule?
No, sir. She's just riding it through for somebody.
I mean, that's going to be a $high mule. It's just pretty laid back.
He's laid back. He's gentle, not overly knowledgeable, I don't think. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
safe though. Well,
yes.
She got him through the pool noodles. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's safe as they come, and he's riding between. I don't.
How old is he?
4-year-old, ain't he?
Oh, he's just young.
I don't think that's that one.
I think it is. They don't have a color on it for some reason.
I mean, that mule's done everything. It's walked over. So the trail course, forgive us, we just jumped right into it because the mules were coming. But the trail course basically involves the mules riding around a dirt arena, jumping over a small log, and then they come and have to go through basically some landscape timbers that are laid out that make a little L shape, and they're
supposed to back through that, back and turn.
You're supposed to go, make the mule go in reverse.
Yep.
And all this is just about proving how much control the rider has over the mule.
Willing control, not a force control.
Right.
That mule does it willingly because it's been trained properly.
And then there's 2 55-gallon drums out here, and there's a cooler on top of the 55-gallon drums, like a
collapsible cooler, call cooler.
Yeah, like a collapsible cooler. And the guys ride up to the 55-gallon drum with a cooler and reach in and get a water bottle. And if you can get your mule, have enough control over your mule to pull it up right to that cooler and reach in and get it off of the mule, like you're doing something.
Yep.
And
take it around the barrel, come put it back in.
Take it around the other barrel. And then you ride through the pool noodles, which we've already described, this little arch with pool noodles. And then there's a wooden bridge made of 2x4s and 2x6s.
Yep. This is going to be a pretty nice mule right here. This mule here will be I'm going to say one of the top 5, wouldn't you, Max?
See how when it's backing up, it's putting its head down, it's collected.
Where I was talking about earlier about tying one's head down.
Would you call this a bay?
Black, bay, brown, but not a bay.
Not a bay.
A bay's gonna be like a bus.
See how it's backing up with his head down to his chest. Yep. That's what the others are supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And you're seeing them get all high headed and stuff. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yep.
So this is probably a 14.2, 14.
They called it 15-1. I don't.
Oh,
think
really?
That mule's not that tall.
But it's good thick mule. Got good thick legs.
You see that we was talking about earlier about your body condition. See, while there's a bunch of those mules that are well rounded on the hips like that mule is, look how much thicker width-wise, hip bone to hip bone that one is.
And that animal's going to be able to carry a bigger person for a longer period of time.
Yep. Hey, like you go to the mountains and you take that. If I'm down there checking cows in Texas or just trail riding down in Texas, that little 850-pound mule that stands 14.3 is fine. That mule's going to be tough. It'll carry you all day. It'll travel well. But now, if you're going to go up the mountains or something, you need something with a little more substance underneath you.
Yeah.
I mean, the mule's going to last longer. You can take that smaller mule. It ain't going to last.
Max, tell everybody how we're describing the height of these mules. Like, what's a 15 hand?
A hand is 4 inches.
And where do you measure from?
On their withers, the highest point on their back.
So you measure from the ground to basically where their mane ends on their back.
And you'll see people take a tape measure and lay it against them and measure it. Well, that's not a true measurement.
Yeah.
Because how thick is it?
Rolling.
That's right. You know, if it's that thing hide behind a 2x4, that's a pretty true measurement. But
so a hand is like this archaic measurement from way in the back. Yeah, basically the width of a man's palm.
It's going to be
so
as
15 hands is 60 inches.
That's right. As a rule, I don't remember. I've measured the width of my hand because I was stupid enough to ride bareback horses in high school and college, so I had to buy a glove. But as a rule, a man's hand is going to be 3 3/4 inches to 4 1/4. It's going to average 4 inches. You measure 10 people's hands, take the giants out and the little guys out.
That's about
it's going to average about 4 inches.
I mean, whoever decided to do that wasn't really thinking
Who figured up a mile? Who figured up a mile?
Same guys that made horse hands, mule hands.
Well, and that's like you get in our country, it's leaps and bounds when you measure stuff. They call it, we're out here, everything's in a section, everything's a square mile.
Yeah.
But in our country, they had a drunk mule and they were blind, so they done leaps and bounds.
You know, you were talking about body condition with the mule and marks on there. That reminded me. So last year, we come here, and about 10 different people thought Mark was me. So I lost 20 pounds because I didn't want that confusion. See how much weight I lost. That's why.
And you grew 4 inches.
I did. I was like, we can't be having that. That's a true story.
Yeah, this is Jason Ayers. He's from Soper, Oklahoma, southeast Oklahoma.
Now that's a smaller mule.
Yep. But now this is your typical smaller Oklahoma, Missouri. That's that coon hunting, hog hunting type mule everybody wants because of the brush. You know, you take, Arkansas is even that way in some places.
Oh, yeah.
You get that brush, you'll spend more time picking your hat up than you will riding.
So a lot of times, when you get out on the trails in Arkansas or wherever, you'll see a lot of smaller mules, 14 hands, and even smaller sometimes. And they're pretty handy.
They are.
It's not as hard to get on them. It's not as hard to get off them.
If you get bucked off, it ain't near as far to fall either.
Exactly.
But you'll notice, percentage-wise, the smaller mules aren't as trained as the bigger mules. Percentage-wise.
Why?
Part of it is who's riding them. They don't care. They just want something to go.
Maybe they know it's not ever going to be a top-end animal because of its size.
You're giving them John Q. Public too much credit. They just don't spend that much time with them. They bought them cheaper because they were very few times they bought that mule because he was cheaper a lot of times too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that maybe
they're not the guys that's going to spend the money. Hey, I can't do this. Don't have time to do it. I'm not going to pay some guy to do it. I'll just ride him when I can.
Yeah.
I think don't you, Max? It's not a knock on anybody or the mule itself. It's just.
But what a lot of people wouldn't know is that mule, if it's, I don't know, it's probably not even 14 hands, is it?
No.
That sucker would carry a grown man all day
Absolutely.
long. Am I right, Max?
Yeah, they do.
Now,
I mean, you think, the short one, the small one's not going to do it. Man, that sucker will carry a 190-pound man all day.
When you pack them, if you pack the mule, you can put as much weight on it as you can another one. Now, what you won't do is for that 1,050-pound mule will last 20 years in the mountains. This mule's going to last 10.
Okay.
You're going to break him down. He's going to get crippled. He'll do
if you really
He'll do the job. But if you really use him, you're going to break him down.
I see.
I'll tell you a story. The first sale we had here, and I'm not, for your listeners and viewers, I'm not knocking anybody's, but the Oklahoma Rat I was telling you about. You know, it's 1993. I'm almost 19 years old in college, and Jody was, Jody would have been in middle school, I guess, at the time. No, he'd been in high school. But anyway, so it's me, John Robert, my older brother.
Is this your daughter again?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. She's riding. She had 2 mules to ride for someone else.
That's a nice mule.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, Dad said, hey, we're going to have to teach these cowboys, and he wasn't knocking anybody, teach these cowboys to ride these 15-hand mules instead of the Oklahoma Rats are riding. I was like,
Oklahoma Rat is a small
just
mule.
Just a smaller mule.
Small coon hunting mule.
It didn't fit our customers, so we didn't view them with a lot of desirability because they didn't make us any money.
Yeah.
And so he works for us now, helps us check stock in and clerks for us during the sale, Justin McCoy. He had a mule in. We never met him, never knew him. And I'm thinking all this time, what's an Oklahoma Rat? Well, Justin's got this mule, and he sticks in the box stall, slaps on the hip. And the mule didn't kick at him. He kind of hopped up in the hind end like he was going to. I said, Oklahoma Rat. Got it, Dad. I understand. So we take him in there, and like I told you earlier, Dad he always starts the mules. Me, Dad, or Jody will put the floor price on every mule. We might let the auctioneer, we're not going to let him mess around long. You can play for a minute, a second or two, but 15 seconds, we're going to give you a price. That's the bottom. It ain't getting no cheaper.
So you're saying at the auction on Saturday,
Yep.
a mule comes out. If nobody bids on it pretty quick, you'll bid on it.
Yep.
And you'll buy, and you'll mean it too. It's not a joke.
It's not getting any cheaper. That's ours. No bids.
You'll buy it.
Now, if we don't want it and you want it, we might let you have it at that price. But it's going to bring that much. And Dad's done that since he started putting sales on in the 70s. It's always been that way. Well, so this mule comes in, and back then we didn't let them play around because we didn't have this high. It was all kind of standard what mules was going to bring. Dad starts this mule for $350. And we'd pulled a customer out of Montana that used to buy 100 head a year from us, either through the sales or privately, named Larry Klinkenbeard. It's called Busted Ash Ranch at Arley, Montana. And this mule, he was handy broke. I'm talking about no horse would handle any better. And he's riding this mule around, and he got up there like 700, 800. He said, hold on, I'll show y'all something. He steps off this mule, and if I'm lying, God will strike me dead. Snapped his finger, his mule fell like he shot him. All he done snapped his finger, his mule fell. I'm talking about it just shot up.
It would lay down on command.
It did not lay down. This thing dropped. Just dropped. Just climbed the ladder. We went up to like 15, 1600. Boom. I'm talking about in 20 seconds. It went from 800 to 1600.
Yeah, when people saw that it would drop to the ground
Larry
on command.
Klinkenbeard stands up in the crowd. He said, come on, boys, he ain't bringing up. Beat him up. He's not bringing enough. Just encouraging. He was in. It was his mule at that moment. He had the winning bid, and he was encouraging people to bid more because he wasn't bringing enough.
That's cool.
And the mule, we get hung up there about 15, 1600. This is one of our mules here. It's Jody's boy riding this mule, Jace. Yeah. Pretty nice mule. Been in the mountains out west. But so we get hung up kind of about 1500, and just said, hold on, I'll show you one more thing, and I'll be done. And he reaches and grabs this mule by his left front leg, picks it up in front of him, not picking it like he's going to clean his foot out. Brings it out in front of him and walks off, and this mule hops three-legged behind him. Brings $22.50. Well, after the sale's over, so Johnny, you missed that one. We started him too cheap. He said, burn his little narrow butt in again. I'll start him again at $350. I didn't want him. And the mule comes back a year later, brings like $1,600, $1,700. We had to find Justin, get him to ride the mule through, he had him about a week to tune him up and get him back ready again. But you just don't ever know.
Hey, what does that tell you when one does that right there?
He's saying hello.
It's not a big deal?
Depends on how.
What a mule just did is he's being ridden and he whinnied.
He brayed, yeah. Once like that's not a big deal. She's hollering at her buddies, hey, I'm stuck out here in this ring, this jackleg driving me around this course I don't want to go through. But she's being responsive. She's not fighting anything.
Yeah,
she's got her mouth shut.
She's not done anything dangerous.
But you were talking about earlier about that stocking-legged flashy mule. This is considered flashy because it's a Palomino. But this one also has the little head, the neck, the hip, a little height, some wither to it to hold the saddle. So now it's got the conformation and the color.
I was telling Clay earlier, if you see one with color, use it as a bonus, not the rule. Look at it as if it was a sorrel or a bay. If you like it, picturing it that way, the color's a bonus. Right. If you're buying one just for color, right, you're putting the cart in front of the horse.
But you like that one, Max?
Yeah, this one's nicer. Like I said, when it's walking, like you see it, it's going over the tubs and stuff. It's going over like its head's down, it's relaxed, it's not getting spun up about it. Like there, it just tried to step around. Is it just like it didn't see no point in it? There was no fear about it. It wasn't it wasn't trying to shoulder out to get away from the tire. It's just like kind
of what I was talking about the stubbornness thing. Like he just said, that mule don't see any point to walk through them tires. It's got all the world in the world around it. Why do I go through those tires?
Yeah, so the last obstacle on the course is two big old.
Its left foot went through the tires. Its right foot didn't. It was like, I don't see why.
I'm gonna help you out, and I'm gonna do it a little bit. But this is the stupidest thing I've ever. My kids have looked at me like that a lot.
And Jace could have spurred it and made it get in there. Yeah. But he chose just to let it do what it's going to do. You're not going to see, let it show. It showed quiet through the whole course. Let's go with that. Versus it may have lined out and did it perfect, or it may have jumped clean over the tires and didn't look bad. So he
done what he should have done. He did
exactly
what he should have done.
Right.
Because this is not training time. We want people to show what they will do. Don't worry about what they won't.
Now this is a young man here.
But you see the mule it's not going in a straight line. It's supposed to trot so far, lope so far, and so it's not doing.
It's very young, I think.
Yeah, it's not doing a bad deal. But where the Palomino that just come through with Jace, it just it was just straight as a line with no corrections.
Yeah.
So it's just been there, done that.
But now look, that mule gathered up in his face and tucked his chin, or tucked his nose. The mule is going very well.
That's got to be
one of
a
the
young
Wild Bunch
mule.
kids.
It is.
It's one of the Wild Bunch kids.
Yeah,
right?
that's Mark's youngest boy, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, this mule's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
30 years ago, this mule would retail because me or you at 25 don't want to start one, but I want one that I get to teach a lot of that stuff to. This is a mule I want. That's a mule I would sell 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
This could, even though it's clear that it's kind of young, it's still got a ton of potential.
A ton of potential. And he'll get overlooked because he's
Would
young.
you say so, Max?
Yeah.
But he'll get overlooked because, like I said, the older ladies and people doing it, they're not even going to look at anything under
The
6.
rich people are not going to spend the money on this one.
Yeah, gotcha.
They're not even going to look at nothing under 6. If you had the best mule out here and it was 2 or 3 years old, they're going to go, don't have an experience for me.
Yeah.
On the average, there's always fluke deals.
Well, that's why I was telling you, the mule that I could have bought at home for $2,000 or $1,500. No, I'm scared of it. I didn't want to give $1,000 for it. Walk out here and bring 42.5.
Yeah.
You just don't. I'm gonna say this. I don't go to sales like I used to, but when I was going to sales, this is the only sale that you cannot predict what something's going to bring. Would you say that, Max?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that sucker just it cruised through the last part of the course. It looked over here. It looked a little antsy.
Wait, that's the age thing.
How old is that mule? I bet it's not over 4, but I could be wrong.
We're not that far along, are we? There? I hadn't seen Claude's mule.
Yeah, Claude's has already been there.
Has it?
Oh, yeah.
Which one is it? Yeah, she just wrote that one.
So when you are looking at a catalog mule at a mule auction, you have an actual catalog that has the mules numbered,
Probably that
and then
one.
every mule has a sticker on their rump and on their forehead. So it's like, this is mule number 16, and then you go to the catalog and you look at number 16, and you'll be able to read all that actually the owner wrote about that mule.
That mule's a 4-year-old.
4-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, this girl here sells a lot of higher-end mules here. She's real successful at this sale. She wins the trail course, the majority.
Yeah.
She'll win it more than most everybody else.
Well, they live Kirby, Arkansas. You know where that's at?
Yeah, oh yeah.
They ride these things. They get up in the mountains. They ride. Her husband trains border collies. And they trade some, which I don't. Some people want to discount that. I do not. But Andrea is a very good hand. She's very quiet, very soft with them.
Yeah.
But and to me, you're asking a mule to back through something they see no point in.
Right.
So the fact this mule,
If you were out in the mountains and there were 2 big rocks right there, you could probably make it go right between them.
right, because this mule wants to do something, they're like, why? But see,
Yeah.
there now once she got her lined up, she's doing it.
Yeah. She knows that mule can do it,
Yeah, look,
doesn't she?
Very few have made that corner and kept backing.
Yes.
And in all
That's a
honesty,
nice mule, isn't it?
she's probably been working on this mule quite a bit, and the mule's getting tired of that trick, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so, these mules, if you hammer on them too far, they just, after a while, they get tired of it.
Yeah.
Let me go grab that water bottle.
Oh, so we lost a water bottle out there on the trail course, and Justin's going to go out and pick it up for him.
Yeah. Now the thing with Andrea is she's tiny. She's a tiny woman. So that's a tiny mule. That mule's probably not even 14 hands. So that gets to be a problem. Like a lot of times I tell her, I'm like, because I've tried to buy some mules from her. I bought a couple, but I'm like, if you would just put this time in a 15 hand or 14.3 versus a 13.2, but there's a big market for those smaller mules for just people just like that are a smaller lady or a kid and they want those little mules, But
How long we been going, Josh? Okay. Can y'all go another 15 minutes?
You bet. You got me all day, Clay.
Okay.
You gonna stay till it's over? It'll be
Well,
probably 11 o'clock.
I mean, what else should, what have we, so imagine somebody listening to this that's never been here or anything. Max, what would be interesting to somebody? What does somebody need to know about a sale like this?
Buyer or seller?
Anybody?
I think the buyers, and I don't think we're the most premier mule sale in America. There's some good sales out there. I do think, based on what I know, so don't want to offend anybody when I say this. I believe we try harder than anybody to. The seller pays us to sell their mule. The buyer pays us nothing.
Right.
I think we're as seller friendly of any sale. Would you say that, Max?
Yeah. And I told him earlier and stuff, the thing about this sale is if you go to a Saturday night cattle horse type auction sale, there's no guarantees, there's no nothing.
No.
If they're drugged up to ages, whatever they're going to do, you're seeing them in a little bit of green. You're not getting to see them work. So here you're getting to see them work. Now you can go to Jay Clark's or something. You're going to get to see a course like this and do this, but everything there, people are expected to bring 20 or more, and they're disappointed if it brings under 20. So it's a seller's market. You're not going to come and buy just a good trail mule that you can get down the road. This sale is the best of where you can come and you can get some of those mules that are high end, just as good as the ones that are at Jake's or Chrome and Canyon, but you can also get one for worth the money.
Right. Just because, like we were saying earlier, just because it won't bring the 20,000 doesn't mean it's a good mule.
Yeah.
But the sellers also got to understand that even though in your mind they're the same, it's all up to the buyer. And like I said earlier, a mule's worth 60 cents a pound. Whatever you get over that is worth what you can talk somebody out of. And that's just the way it is.
Justin told me that earlier. Equine animals at slaughter are worth 60 cents a pound. So anything above that, you're talking somebody
I'm
into
glad
it.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
What's the truth?
Hey, this mule right here, I like the looks of that mule. I have a young mule that looks just like that.
I know
I'm
you do
train
because
this
he's
summer.
got stocky legs.
I know.
You got a weakness for that, Clay.
I don't know why.
But see here, okay, so you hog hunt, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that you would need to know. See, Claude Ard owns this mule. This is a guy where they hog hunt all the time. Mules don't like bears and hogs on the smell. Generally, they got to get used to that.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you were looking for a mule, this would be something you'd be interested in because, for one, it's flashy and you like flashy, but two, this one actually probably has drug hogs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mules that are
And
super
at
good
this
and
sale, you would know that if you came here and talked to some people and
you
knew
got time.
this guy.
You got 3 days. Like tomorrow,
Yeah.
only tack is selling. If you see a mule in the trail course today and you want to go talk to the guy and ride it all day tomorrow,
You could do it.
If you talk to Clark,
I hadn't thought about that. You could actually ride one. I mean, I could go talk to a guy and be like, "Hey, let me ride that mule," and he'd be like, "Heck yeah!"
That's
I mean,
reason-
most of the time, he probably would.
See, when we first
that
started
right?
having the catalog portion, I don't know, it's been, 8-9 years ago, we had the trail course on Friday afternoon. We'd stop the tax sale at 4 o'clock, have the trail course. We'd have 50 head in it. Didn't have a real big course, get it done pretty quick. And our tax sale was lasting until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, so let's stop this crap. So we instead of moving the tack on Friday, because you got people that want to come for the tax sale. Well, if we move the tax sale on Thursday, then they're taking 2 days off of work. We want those tack guys to stay to Saturday too, also if possible.
Yeah.
Because then you never know, they might decide to.
Now your daughter's back
It
on
is,
the mule.
yeah. This is a mule that I brought up here for a friend of mine, a retired state trooper at Ada, Oklahoma. He has not rode this mule in 5 years, and she is literally. He was worried about her a little bit just because. This mule will want to push through the bit just a little bit, not aggressively, but see right there?
Yep.
And
She's lifting its head.
And we've worked with her, but I'm going to tell you, the mule was not stepped on in 5 years. Casey, after she got her liver lacerated, 2 months later, she went to work for a gal at Salisal right after that. Moved out here to Oklahoma. She was already living in Oklahoma at the time. Moved over to Salisal. She got healed up from her liver. Went to saddle a colt up, stepped on the colt wads up and falls on her. So Casey's nerve has gotten tested a little bit since then. Just so many injuries. She broke her back when she's 14. Liver lacerated it.
She's been.
Yeah. I mean, that was 2 years ago. She got her liver lacerated. She's had a lot of injuries. And she not quite as nervy on stepping on one as she used to be.
Yeah.
And she's, Dad, will you ride her first? I said, yeah, I will. And so I ain't that's the first time I sat in the saddle in 4 or 5 months because of the hip that bothers me. I'm telling you, we lunged her for 30 seconds tops just to see what she's going to do. Mule lunged out good. I just stepped right on her and loped her right down the road immediately.
Yeah.
So that's this mule here won't do everything proper. That's the safe mule people need to buy. Turn the mule out for 5 years. Yeah, she might push you a little bit here or there.
Yeah.
But she's not going to hurt you. She's
Yeah.
going to step off and ride off.
I wish we could see them all so that we could make a bet on what's going to be the high bid mule.
Red Roan.
A red roan?
That's nice. Yeah. Who's got that mule?
Colton.
It's
yes.
a mule you actually know of?
No, the kid.
We know the kid.
Yeah.
Is that right?
He's as good.
His parents are reining horse trainers.
Now, do you know a specific animal that he has here?
I think Colton's parents were.
He's Christy Hauser, his mom.
Well, whoever it is, I think they train reining horses. Or something.
He's soft, though. All I know is his mules, I'm telling you, they'll have their head down level. They will ride as proper as they come. I forgot about that. That is a nice mule. That mule will definitely be in the top 5.
Really? Now tell me about this mule, Max. I talked to this guy earlier a little bit. I want to hear your assessment of this one.
That is definitely a mule.
I've noticed this. You know the ones he asked about the most, they're all stocky-legged. He's got a
No.
Did you have a girlfriend before your wife? I'm going
to answer like Max said. I'm uncomfortable answering that question.
No, seriously. You dated a few girls in high school probably before you met your wife.
Sure.
What color is her hair?
I'm not answering this question. I never dated a stocking-legged girl. Okay.
Whatever color your wife's hair is, I bet every girlfriend had the same color hair.
Plead the fifth.
I dated a brunette once. That's why I got a blonde-headed wife.
I think probably I like a stocking-legged mule because the first good mule that I ever had was stocking-legged.
That plays into everything.
First good coon dog you had, you like that breed of dog.
Take a kid. When one of the men you talked about it, I don't know if we recorded or not, but Hollywood ruined the mule image because there's always the comic relief that rode the mule.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah.
And that was. I'm not saying that it was all mules in the West back in the day, but there was mules used a lot more than just teams and draft applications, pack applications, and also the other thing that messed up mules is there was so many mules used on a farm that you got, let's just say, pretend my granddad didn't like mules, but he was forced to drive that mule all the time in the field.
They just had a bad image,
it's
marketing.
It's like everybody wants a Molly mule, and it's old stigmatism because back in the day on the smaller farms, not the big ranches out west, but the smaller farms that had 3 or 4 milk cows and this sheep, all that, they'd run all their stock together and rotate their pastures based on where they're growing their crops. As a rule, a Molly mule, when a cow has a calf, won't kill the calf. She'll try to take that calf away from the cow. She'll keep that cow kicked off that calf, that newborn calf. Well, farmer looks out. Well, cow had a calf. I see a mule there. Go pick the calf up, carry it to the barn. It's safe. A horse mule would kill the calf as a rule, paw it to death. So, in everybody's mind, Molly mules are best.
Molly mule's a female, horse mule's
yes,
a male.
That's right. And I despise a mare mule. I would ride a mare horse before I ride a mare mule. When they're not in heat, they're as good as they come. But I do not want to have to guess if thing's in heat when I go catch her. Now, horse mule may be just a turd, pick at you, aggravate you all the time, whatever, pressure you a little more, test you a little more. But when you go put your halter on him that morning to go ride him, you know you're going to deal with it.
Do you have a preference over a Molly or a
No,
mule?
I've had good and bad in both. Best mule I've ever had in my life was Grace. That was a Molly. I got her sold this year. I kept her for years, but I got her sold real high. But my personal mule now and my daughter's personal mule are both John mules.
There's a boy here. He's from Comanche, Oklahoma. He's been coming to the sale for a long, long time. He wanted Molly mules, but he would get them spayed.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It would stop that.
Yeah.
That Rome you're talking about. My mom, we bought a mule for her in 1999, and looked just like that mule. I thought it was this mule reincarnated, and that mule would come in heat almost on command. If you hadn't rode her for a month, and when you caught her, you put a halter on her, she'd come in heat. And you knew she was in heat because she was ear shy when she was in heat. Was not ear shy any other time. And that mule was as nice and as broke as they come, but you had to beg everything she gave you. Where a horse mule, a lot of times, if they'll do something, if you're dragging a log and you want to drag that log at a lope, if you ask a horse mule, if he'd done it before, he'll do it, but with it not asking a lot. That mare mule, you might have to beg.
Yeah.
That, and I got a wife and 2 daughters plus a son, so I had 3 women in my life. I didn't want to have to ride one to go enjoy myself.
Now, see, this is probably one to watch. This is David Borntrager riding. He's one of the better trainers in the country. He's won a bunch of mule trainers challenges. He goes around the country doing clinics. He used to be Amish and jumped the fence, whatever you want to call it. He's down in Antlers, Oklahoma now. But It's a really good trainer. So you can see the mule backing up like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So, you could probably give him any mule here, and in 60 days it'd be riding just like that. But what I'm saying is when you're bidding on this mule, you're not just bidding that's a good mule, but you're buying the training too.
Yeah.
And it's been trained right and handled right.
Yeah.
And, there's a value to that.
Yeah, that might be a little bit older mule too, do you think? Yeah, so this is a black or a darker brown colored mule. Really nice looking mule.
Are you home or are you here?
Good and thick.
It's 9 years old.
9 years old. Yep. So that animal's in its prime.
Right.
So that's one to look for. Well, hey, Josh, I think we're gonna.
Yeah, this could go on all night if you want.
Yeah. So we're there's 100 mules that are gonna go through this course, and we're probably on number
31.
31. So there's 70 more mules, but we hope you enjoyed getting to watch if you're watching on YouTube, but hopefully if you're listening, you've been able to follow along. And man, guys that know as much about mules as Max and Justin, I learned a lot just hearing them talk. And
Clay, I do want to thank you for coming. I mean, like I said, I've been trying to get over for a year and a half to visit with you about mules, and it was so ironic that I've been trying to get a hold of you to get you to come here. Then you contact us. I was like, yeah, what's the odds of this?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming.
Yeah. Oh man, thanks for your time. This has been awesome.
Anytime.
Max, good to meet you, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. I've heard about you for years and stuff, and all the stuff you do in Arkansas and stuff. So.
The stories you do, what you're doing with your podcast is great. I mean, you give them some educational stuff plus some fun stuff. I've been turkey hunting once in my life, but I don't listen to all your podcasts. But when I see turkey stories, I listen to them. I'm going to listen to turkeys, and I don't turkey hunt.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy listening. And then tell Brent, I think you really did beat him in the hoot owl deal.
You hear that, Brent Reeves?
I'm gonna call him out because he thinks I'm a stalker on Instagram.
Yeah. He tried to message Brent to tell me to come to the Ada Mule Sale, but no, hey, Ada Mule Sale is usually the second weekend in April. Is that about right?
It's always the second Saturday of April. That being however it falls, and the first Saturday of October.
Yeah.
Find us on Facebook, Ada Oklahoma Mule Sale.
Yeah.
Go to our website, kelsomules.com. Our phone numbers are on the website.
Yeah.
Any questions, anything, give us a call.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.